Hello everyone. I hope that you're doing well. My name is Nurat, and recently I got involved in raising funds for a child that had a hole in the heart. So I thought to share some of my experiences, and I hope that you learn from them. First off, the congenital heart defect is quite common now. It's quite prevalent in the world, not just Nigeria alone. So if you know anyone who has a child with a hole in the heart, please do not despair. It's treatable, and children can live very normal lives afterwards. So not many hospitals in Nigeria do this surgery. Therefore, most people opt to take their children abroad, especially India, because they have a track record of successful surgeries. Like I said, your child can live a very normal life after the surgery. I personally know a boy 7 years after he's played any kind of sport is one of the most intelligent students in class. So yes, normal lives can be lived after the surgery. If you're taking your child to India for a surgery, it's quite expensive. It costs 3.5 to 4 million, depending on the hospital, depending on the kind of surgery, depending on how wide the hole in the heart has become. So of course we had to raise that money through the public. We appealed to the public. We sent messages via WhatsApp, and very well-meaning Nigerians send their kind words, their funds, their support. People sent 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 5,000. Some very kind people, even sent larger amounts of money. And this is so powerful. It shows that we all have one another's backs, and Nigerians are truly very kind. And all these amounts of money made the surgery successful, even though up to 500,000 had to be borrowed to complete the surgery. But majority of the funds were gotten from the public, and we're very appreciative of that. Of course, if your child has to go to India, you need passports. You need international passports for the child and for the parents too. So delay is dangerous. As soon as you've made up your mind that you want to fly this child abroad, get their international passports, and of course apply for a visa. We applied for the visa online. Apply for your visa online. The visa costs like 95 per person. We didn't think it would be that expensive. So for India, for like a multiple entry, it was 90,500 per person times 3. The patient had two medical attendants, the mother and the grandma. So that cost like 271,000 naira thereof. So yes, bear in mind the price of the visa. Also, getting the visa issued took like over 1 week. We didn't think it would take that long. Like we thought after the interview, just a day or 2 days after they'll get called. So it took like a week. So this just tells you the importance of getting things done as quick as possible. When they went for the visa, one funny thing happened. They were meant to take their bank statements, but they didn't. Okay, so it had to be sent via the email, and it had to be printed on the spot. On a normal day in Lagos, printing one piece of paper is 50 naira. Plus the consulate is like 1,000 naira. So they had to pay like 30-something thousand naira printing of papers that would have normally cost like 3,000 or 4,000 outside. So please, if you're going to the consulate, make sure you take every single thing that needs to be printed to avoid having to pay more than necessary for papers. Alright, so thankfully after the visa was issued, we booked their flights. They traveled via Ethiopian Airlines, all of them, and the duration of the trip was booked for 15 days. That was a slight error that we made as well. When you are booking, try to extend it. Normally, like the surgery and recovery should take that time, but as soon as they got to India, they could not even have the surgery, okay, because the child had fallen ill, and they can't operate on a really ill child. So they had to wait, they had to re-examine the child. They discovered that the hole had become wider, which even made surgery fees more expensive. So bear that in mind. The doctors here may have told you it will cost this. When you actually get to India, it might be much more expensive. Until they physically see the child, they cannot really say. Also, in addition to that, have extra money, hold extra money, because the hospital didn't pay for their accommodation and their feeding. So surgery fees cost like $6,500, and so you have to pay for your accommodation, you have to pay for your feeding, you have to pay for medicine. After the child was operated upon, they had to buy some medicines for him, so they had to pay. A very valid point again is try to change naira to dollars before traveling, because using your MasterCard there might be tricky. The exchange rates might be higher, the charges might be higher, so it's just safer to deal with dollars. So we were fortunate, we were like rightly advised, so we changed naira to dollars before they travel. So that's very, very important. Of course, I didn't mention this, but most likely before you can even get a visa, you need to get an invitation letter from the hospital. So before they travel to India, we already contacted Artemis Hospital in Haryana. Fortunately, we have a doctor here that has a contact in a hospital in India, so it was easier to get the invitation letter sent to their consulate. All right, so after that, the surgery was conducted. The boy was in ICU for like 2 days. Thankfully, it was successful. There were no complications. Even though the stitch where they had the surgery, they couldn't remove the stitches in India, but they told them it's okay. They can always remove the stitches here in Nigeria. So all in all, it was quite a long process. It had several things that had to be done, and we had to do them as fast as possible because life is involved. So in a nutshell, we're very grateful to everyone that helped make this a possibility. I feel very blessed to have been part of this process, for giving this boy a heart that is more functioning. We're grateful to everyone that supported. We pray that God continues to meet you at your various points of needs. And for anyone who is going through this at the moment, we pray that you are able to get your child all the required medical attention. Thank you all for listening. I hope that you learned a few things from this short video. Hopefully, I will see you again. Thank you. Bye.